This video is sponsored by War Thunder. More on them later. Hundreds of dinosaurs will fight to the death inside this giant arena, full of deadly traps, places to hide, and a violent guardian hybrid. But before that, many more arenas like the King of the Hill, challenging carnivores to viciously battle to stay in the middle, the Rumble, with countless different environment squares gradually opening to face one another, and many more until only one dinosaur fighter will remain and win this entire challenge, as we start entering a massive coliseum for our first arena battle. Welcome to the first round of the Herbivore vs Carnivore battle. For this arena, each round will contest a group of carnivores versus herbivores until one side gets completely wiped out. So what better way to start with the T-Rexes versus Triceratops? Entering are three large hungry Tyrannosaurus Rexes, with a red flush matching their savage excitement, but about to face against not one, but 10 sharp-horned Triceratops and other ceratopsians alike. Will the brute strength of 3 T-Rexes be enough? Well, the carnivores head into the arena to find out. Remember, there will be many more rounds later with an increasingly unique selection of carnivores and herbivores. But for now, the Rexes herd the Triceratops away and start sniffing at their targets. However, knowing the numbers are against them, not taking time to take the first elimination in the chaos. One Triceratops down. It was clear everyone was panicked, and the T-Rexes took advantage of this, scaring the nervous herbivores with a manly roar and going in for a bite at the neck as they passed by. This was a good tactic, giving them quite the meal after too to keep their energies up. Unlike the Sinoceratops lazing around, the cramped space are stressing the herbivores enough to even fight against each other in a panic. But some stood their grounds despite carrying a ton of injuries. Oh, and he's running. Okay bro, I was just complimenting you. In fact, most of them took to each other trying to one-up the other to survive. So safe to say the herbivores are in shambles, but hopefully not for long. Well, that's not the case for this Triceratops, as the relentless force of a T-Rex bite sunk into its neck. Oh wait, I still haven't introduced them to you guys. The two red T-Rexes here are the Crimson Twins, two very aggressive tyrants whose whole personality is built on their recklessness. Yet enter Olive, the cool-headed sister, the bigger figure of the group, and will try her best to keep her brothers in check. So as the T-Rexes rest after a very promising start, I bet the crowd is riled up as they prepare for the exciting battles the herbivores are about to put up. Okay, but the Triceratops are getting more active. After a Sinoceratops fail at facing a T-Rex, this orange Triceratops found a way to outrun the beefy and tired Rex, juking the big guy all around. Under the sleeve of the Rexes on the other side though, their loud intimidating roar helps when they get too overcrowded by the herbivores, and picking off ones that seem the weakest for an easy hunt. Right now it's looking like the Triceratops are not going to stand a chance, being absolutely destroyed. But this won't always be the case, and I think they just need to find the right opportunity. Exactly like this bubblegum colored Sinoceratops, standing his ground as bites flew towards him. He took and survived the devastating crunch of the Rex, and a reminder that being confident and defensive will help them withstand a Rex's attack, rather than running away. In the Triceratops group, you can see many of them also practicing their stance with one another, getting a hang of their shielding techniques. But Olive can be seen picking off some that are too reckless. However, with time, the T-Rexes stayed relentless, and as the dust of battle settles down over many dead Triceratops that lay everywhere across the arena, there are still 3 T-Rexes and only 1 Triceratops and 2 Sinoceratops left. The hope to win seems like a distant miracle for the 3 herbivores, but the carnivores looked over one big mistake. The T-Rexes went too hard at the start, and now completely tired and exhausted, and obviously not enough food around to sustain their energy, and so the Sinoceratops took to action, challenging one of the Crimson Twins. It braces and charges for a big horn strike to the underjaw of the Rex. In a fit of shock, the Crimson Twin thought nothing else but to bite back, yet not leaving without another tackle from the Sinoceratops. This time, it was the Rex that fled from the battle in fear. Can the herbivores keep this up? Well, from the side of the 2 other Rexes, with no food and the heat, they've become more irritated and took it out on each other, clashing their massive body weights and fangs against the other. But back to the fleeing Rex, the wound under his jaw was just too deep, and he's been bleeding out since. Unfortunately, after a while, enough to make his body go limp and fall to the ground. The first T-Rex death, and Olive did not even hesitate to eat his brother for a snack. You're crazy, girl. Anyways, many of the herbivores are still left with deep wounds that this orange guy seems to be commanding his fellow ceratopsians on what to do, mourning one of the ceratopsians that succumbed to its wounds. Now it's a 2v2. Will the Triceratops triumph over the weak and tired Rexes? Well, we'll get back to you after a short nighttime break. Wow, did they really all just took a nap? Alright, it's almost morning and our bravest bubblegum Sino woke to attempt a sneaky attack at one of the Rexes. But the smart Olive is already prepared and land a quick strike to the poor Sino, but not quite enough to take it down and overcome his fighting spirit, scraping the side of Olive with its rugged horns in return. He was all wounded and in the verge of death, so running and finding a place to hide is the only option. It worked for a moment, but scrambling around, it was until the last Crimson Twin followed the Sino the whole way and finished him off, taking revenge on his twin brother's killer. That means leaving the one and only leader of the herbivore pack, the orange Triceratops. I'm sorry, I haven't thought of a name for him. Nevertheless, against both full-grown T-Rexes now. Power in numbers, but both carnivores wounded pretty badly. So first, they defend their food to try and heal up. And only in the morning, the Triceratops was brave enough to approach Olive. Unluckily, his bravery is met with a large bite coming straight at him. The shine of the morning dawn gleams on the battlefield as he drives a horn into the side of Olive's chunky torso, afterwards countering the Rex's attempt for another bite with a tackle. It was when Olive growls, looking like she's about to land a killing blow, is when she drops to the ground, both tired and riddled with wounds. But it's the giant white Rex that lay lifeless on the sand, and the orange Triceratops standing victorious over the body. But it's not over just yet. There is one red T-Rex left and he's fully energized. But actually, something is wrong. I waited for days and days on end, but they refused to fight. Trust me, it was a very long time. It's like they not just bonded through the endless fighting and just tired, but accepted each other as partners. So I guess it's decided. The first Herbivore vs Carnivore is a draw, and this Crimson Twin Lone Rex and Orange Triceratops will be moving on into the final ultimate arena. Yes, we will collect winners from the various challenging arenas we have today to move on into the final ultimate arena to face our cruelest challenger yet and fight until one last dinosaur standing. And don't worry, we also have a few Herbivore vs Carnivore rounds coming, and those ones definitely will have a clear winner. But before all that, let's follow the sound of crashing water and a distant gust of drier wind. Let's cut to the chase here and enter our next arena, and our first fighters for this battlefield are already being introduced, like Arco, Stork, Murky, a trio of Suchomimus bonded by brotherhood, and honestly, shabby water-wrinkled Dino Skin. But that won't stop the excitement of the one super green Murky comforting his more anxious Arco. Yet safe to say Stork is locked in and ready to face anything coming his way. Concavenators are up next, a cocky, confident few that is enough to start sizing up the much bigger Suchomimus. But will that keep up as the gates behind them open into a vast stadium floored from each corner with eerily calm water, an anticipation for the grand hill that stands proudly in the middle of it all. Here, so many dinosaurs will be released to ruthlessly fight each other to stay within and conquer this hill the best they can. You see, I'll give them exactly 1 hour real time until I block off the hill and claim the winners to move on, forcing our dinosaurs here to their own clever ways to win. But that's not all, as I have 2 wildcard boxes I placed around this arena that will open at random times. And you'll want to stick around because the last one might just be a violent challenger you know. Nonetheless, our contestants so far are exploring, like the Suchomimus brothers happy to see the shallow water element they thrive in, over the distance of the chirps of some Pyroraptors just entering too, 4 of them to be exact. Displaying a mix of brown, blue, and cyan, these guys will definitely take the naughtier approach. Other fighters got in too, like the Ceratosauruses, super weird-eyed Dracorex, like what is that? Troodons slobbering a poisonous bite, and a few big herbivores too that could pack a heavy punch. I mean, look at these Nasutoceratops polishing each other's weapons. My goodness. Although not as heavy as the Spinoceratops that holds the beefy genes cooked up inside them. But will they stand a chance against our first big giant coming in? Gastric, the Giganotosaurus, walking in and staring with eyes of murderous intent. Appropriately named because he reminded me of the colors of the Gastric's stomach juices. I'm sorry, but nevertheless our most dangerous contender yet, as he strategically checks out the arena. Well, the arena is about to start super soon, and our fighters are divided by those learning the grounds, guarding the sandy bank already, or just sleeping and resting to maintain energy. But if there was any noise before, silence now wafts over the arena as one final fighter is entering. But speaking of strong dinosaurs, let me tell you about War Thunder. And hold right there because they've actually sponsored a special dinosaur for us today. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, where you can choose from over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations, including including everything between the wonky pre-World War II planes to modern jets and main battle tanks. Get yourself lost in the intense combat of War Thunder and its incredibly detailed vehicles, with realistic graphics and sound effects that make you feel like you're actually in the battlefield, on top of features like the damage x-ray view that shows you destruction of vehicles down to where the shell penetrates and parts that break off, and yes, including your rides too. They even have an in-depth customization system that has countless camouflages, historical markings, and decorations for all types of your vehicles for you creative bugs. But I personally recommend trying out the new mobile version because trust me, it's a really addicting combat game to play to pass time. Like our dinosaurs today, choose how you enter the battlefield with the strongest war machines of our time, and drop in a worldwide community of over 70 million players in fierce PvP battles. If that's not convincing enough, play completely for free right now on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile using my link in the description or pinned comments. New and returning players that haven't played the game on PC and consoles get a massive free bonus pack with multiple premium vehicles, 7-day of premium account time, 100,000 silver lions, the unique Eagle of Valor decoration, and much more. Plus, I really want you to try it. Where for one of you, an unclaimed carnivore for my next Jurassic World Evolution video, you can name and brainstorm its characteristics with me personally. All you have to do is sign up with my link below and send me a video of you playing it in my Discord. Anyways, the dinosaur War Thunder had sponsored for us today is just stepping in. Gore, the Tarbosaurus, a display of hundreds of old and deep battle scars ingrained in his tough hide like cooled down lava in mountain rock. His labored steps and breathing marks the start of the King of the Hill arena as the gates close in behind him. The 1 hour will commence. Hunting and fights will be allowed, and the fight for the main hill begins. And for a moment there was a calm before the storm. You can hear the grass sweating and the tense silence that is just waiting to break from the first fight. And bam! The Pyroraptors declare the first move, killing a Troodon amidst the hill's shrubbery. The Pyroraptors are looking to dominate the undergrowth and taking early initiative, and the fight for the dry bush continues as the Dilophosaurus sizes up a Dracorex, dodging attacks with swift moves and striking when their necks are open. The Troodon gets in on the action, fending herbivores off. Unlike up the hill where the Dilophosaurus and Pyroraptor brawl with spit and striking talons involved, the Dilo ends up running. On the outside, Murky is making the water murky with blood of a concavenator he had hunted. The same idea that Gastric had, eating one like chips. It was safe to say the fights are picking up now, and you'll see how cleverly some dinosaurs will tackle this arena later. Right now though, dead bodies that are scattered around will be constantly removed to make sure less food is around and force them to take it out on each other. I'm totally not cruel, guys, I swear. Anyways, as nightfall creeps up on them, the Suchomimus uses their water mastery to take down big targets like an Edmontosaurus and sneak up unclaimed dead dinos for scraps. Meanwhile, the arena had become spooky, lit with clear guiding lights on the hill to fight for, and Gastric emerged amidst the darkness like a children's horror story to attack a Ceratosaurus making his way in. In fact, the Dilophosaurus uses this exact darkness to swarm a Ceratosaurus too and take it down into the water. Okay, relax bro, you got him already, jeez. Many herbivores during the night are dropping like flies in the water, but the carnivores are starting to realize each other as a threat too. Back to the little guys, where the Troodon finally musters enough courage to challenge the Dilophosaurus and actually overpowers one. Unfortunately for Arco, that wasn't the case against Gastric, who beat him up so badly with an intense bite he had to run away, barely alive. This will mark the start of a never-ending battle against Gastric versus the Suchomimus trio. The night grew darker, and I figured it's past the time to finally reveal our first wildcard box. The gate so slowly opens to reveal... Wait, what? Nothing? No. In fact, this wildcard marks a second wave of dinosaur contestants coming into play, and in literal pitch black, the first ones scurrying in are a pack of Herrerasaurus, immediately springing into action and killing the Troodons that have been hiding in the starting zone. Don't forget, we still have one last wildcard box with something that is already ravaging to go out. Meanwhile, as the clear light returns to the arena, mean Cryolophosaurus and other herbivores are also involved in the second wave too, and will be a little extra spice mixed into this chaos. Chaos that stays persistent in the undergrowth, where a Pyroraptors eliminates a Dilophosaurus for territory, and the number of Troodons that our new Herrerasaurus friends had wiped out over the night. They seem like good fighters, but that didn't stop one Troodon to stand its ground on the hill, poisoning one Pyroraptor that is assigned to guard the water line as they clash and successfully push the other way. The Troodon's poison is strong, and the unlucky feathered raptor walks towards the shallows where the toxin shuts down its entire body, killing it. For the Suchomimus gets getting to Gastric is still a mission, as Stork fails to find confidence in sizing him up. It's different for Murky though. Most confident in hunting over water, he approached the giant Giganotosaurus and received a devastating bite into his back. Many scars, but another bite comes his way, deepening the wounds. So Murky strikes back with what energy is left and just about runs away. He is super wounded, and luckily his brothers come around to defend him before he could be picked off. To send a message, Gastric basically just takes it out on a nearby Edmontosaurus again. We get it, my dudes, you're cool. Hold on, it seems like we're forgetting someone. Gore, who had just been observing the arena so far, at last woke up by destroying a Herrerasaurus, testing his strength with the last Cerrado, and safe to say the others are scared of him. But let's take a closer look at the hill. The Suchomimus took to the meat pile at the top, an extremely dangerous move to heal up, but crucial to their survival. Beside them is something absolutely weird. Spinoceratops had been here the whole time, pretending to be rocks in the hill, and no dinosaur so far had even batted an eye on them lounging here. A super unique strategy, but will that last? Well, time is ticking down for sure, and many herbivores still can't find a window to go into the dangerous hill. I mean, look at this poor fella being Goomba stomped by a Herrera. Even those who stray away or pushed away too far can starve to death in the outskirts. So what better motivation than to introduce a deadly challenger to the arena? The last wildcard box. And you'll be excited to see as the gate opens that it is Liz the Spinosaurus. She is back, and the final twist of this arena. She won't be able to die today and has only one instruction: to kill contestants still in the waters. She's a staple from my previous videos, so let's let our fan favorite settle in first. As the Herrerasaurus threatens the dry bush empire of the Pyroraptors, they quarrel, and shockingly the Pyroraptor gets pushed to the edge. You can even see a few of them rallying to kick off herbivores running away from Liz. But those horns are not just for show, buddy, but it's time for the big boys to fight. Gastric is up for another battle. This time, Arco had honed his skills, eliminating many of the carnivores, and the injured Murky heals up with a Cryolophosaurus he had taken down. On the side, a cocky Cerrado thought he could size up to Gore, but he catches him mid-lunge and bites back, where he was viciously bitten by the large Tarbosaurus, crushing his head and drowning him. Oh yeah, and safe to say that Liz had started hunting and racking up the kills under her belt. Mostly lost herbivores, yet some do have their ways warding her off, like showing their butts. Okay, now that's just weird. Gore though also catching along and starting to target the little guys too. Then it was Arco versus Gastric again, where the large force of Gastrix's bite wounds the Grey Suchomimus, but this time Arco bites back immediately. But again, Gastric overpowers them with deeper bites easily, and despite the fighting spirit, forced to run away once more. Wait, but maybe not from Gastric himself, as a large shadow appears behind the Giganotosaurus. Gore. The battle against titans, and Gore lunges first with shocking force. Gastric was taken aback, only able to push out a weakly bite and rushes away. The Tarbosaurus cleanses his scars with the water, and did something out of this world, approaching the violent Spinosaurus and somehow befriending Liz, calling and walking by her side and eating together to help each other's motives. Honestly, I did not know Gore was smooth like that. But Liz now goes downwards towards the waterways, hunting all the Nasutoceratops and others alike. She is obliterating everyone right now and leaving a trail of bodies. Time is ticking, with the battle of the undergrowth still going on and challenged by the overwhelming power of the new Herrerasauruses, and Arco is with Stork, protecting the water bank. But where was Murky? It was the final countdown, and of course he was fighting Gastric. Murky has a goal, since the start of this battle, to kill their giant rival Gastric. Yet still he came out with the most scratches and scars he had ever had. Soothing in the water, he had a plan. But at this rate he might not make it, with chaos ensuing as everyone rushes, Gore and Liz actively taking down anyone, then after finally going up the hill himself satisfied. Of course the Pyroraptors are still here too. Gastric was actually quite injured from that battle, and to my surprise, Murky had held himself together for another fight with his family's rival. At the last seconds, he tears Gastrix's side with a quick bite, and oh my god, he panics, pushing him away in fear. Gastric was finally scared by this green Suchomimus in front of him. For a bit he actually looked kinda stunned. It was later when I found out it was because he had lost all his health and passed out by the edge, fulfilling Murky's ultimate goal. But he has to get to the middle. Time is about to finish as he limps towards the goal with all his wounds. His brothers waiting for him by the bank, bellowing Murky to hurry up. Will he make it in time? The hill is blocked off, and the king of the hill arena comes to a close. A few familiar faces did not make it, like the Herrerasaurus who were strong contestants, this little spiky stego who honestly just lucky it did not drown, one Sinoceratops pushed away by Liz earlier in the battle, and unfortunately, Murky did not make it, hovering over the wall that he missed so closely. His brothers on the other side tried calling out to him, begging to find a way to get him in, but it didn't matter. Murky can only now cheer his brothers on in spirit, as they move on into the final arena. Alongside the winners that are Gore the Tarbosaurus, a few strong Pyroraptors who successfully defended their grassy territory, and I can't believe it, but the Spinoceratops that pretended to be rocks. But yes, the fate of Murky and other lost contestants will be in the hands of Liz, who will eventually eliminate them all. It's a sad day for them, yet the dawn of arenas are just beginning. Let's give a round of applause for Liz's return. She'll be back. And let's take a step back for a quick matchup that is about to take place to cool down a bit. The Herbivore vs Carnivore Round 2. You know what's coming already. Send the carnivores in. You know them, you love them. Round 2's carnivores will be represented by the Carnotaurus. Brash and filled with dino manliness, they seem excited and confident to see what they'll be up against. But be careful what you wish for, because entering for the herbivore side are 3 highly defensive Stegoceratops, studded with fatal horns and menacing spikes all down to their tail that can easily send anyone to dino heaven. And quickly the gates open to introduce them to their match, when in a moment of opportunity, a Carnotaurus immediately poke and bite the new Stegoceratops to test them out. Running back to the starting base with wounds already, I haven't told you guys, the herbivore has one more fighter under their belt. Coming fashionably late is Truffle, the Therizinosaurus, being sort of a defender for the Stegoceratops. He towers over his herbivore friends and they go into formation, standing behind him. Yet the Carnos are still overly confident, approaching the tall bipedal herbivore to fight. But with a quick stare into each other's eyes, the Carno knew he made a big mistake. The herbivores have found their newfound confidence, and seeing their friend just die in one swoop, the Carnotaurus now grows more cautious. The rest of the morning was a game of waiting, holding strong positions to see if anyone would budge. Carnos being the opportunists they are, eating their buddy, and despite the carnivores able to leave some injuries, the Stegoceratops holds their ground pretty well in most cases. The black Carno is the first one to plan things out first. Cautiously looking around, he knew that the Therizinosaurus is the strongest and the problem, so he called his 3 brothers to get close to him, to circle him and go for an attack. They stand, and the orange one is the first to attack, landing a few strikes. Truffle stood strong, but somehow finds a window to run away. On the side, his Stegoceratops buddy drew attention to himself and out of Truffle, charging horns into the Carnotaurus enough to push him away. A counter-attack by the herbivores is on its way, but teamwork can also be seen in the carnivore side, as the black Carno defends his injured friend as he mends his wounds with dirt and sand to prevent infections. When that's done, the Stegoceratops stay closely behind Truffle, following him, and the Carnotaurus replies with an attack to the Therizinosaurus, while herding the others behind to try to pick off any of them. Truffle's anger is expressed with a devastating scratch, hurting it bad but not enough to stop a bite. Behind them though, the black Carnotaurus bites a Stegoceratops, and too excited goes for another but clinched by a horn in defense, hurting the Carno. Unfortunately, the bite to the herbivore is fatal on its neck as it falls to the ground, but through the night, the herbivores found some time to rest up for a bit, even enough to do whatever this guy is doing. Okay, are you done? Meanwhile, the Carnotaurus lurks around, tempted to get an advantage in a fight, but by being too loud and waking everyone up, they're forced to go against Truffle, now riddled with scars, once more. Somehow, the red Carnotaurus is still convinced he is a threat, and took to the 2 Stegoceratops left instead. A bite in and suddenly completely wounding the horned herbivore, who goes in for a lunge but misses. In that small window, the Carnotaurus lands a killing strike, cleverly taking him down and quickly eating it for energy. 1 Stegoceratops left, and big man Truffle takes the initiative to even out the numbers real quick, with a claw straight through the wandering Carno's neck. And this last guy ain't just hanging around too, going against the black Carno as he tackles with a strong headbutt and actually got the Carno to run away. Yet safe to say they are all exhausted, staying in battle positions over dead dinosaurs that now scatter across the arena floor. With tensions high and Carnotaurus even fighting for food, the black Carno took the lead to finish it all, biting Truffle on his side. Keeping always defensive and retreating to the last Stegoceratops, the black Carno charges for him instead. And in the face of being the most battle-active carnivore, the injuries from this battle forces him away. Truffle on the other hand was looking the worse for wear, and with all his might left, kills another Carno with its claws, immediately falling to the ground in exhaustion. He had been going full blast since the start, and now rendered almost unconscious. And so the final Stegoceratops is left fighting 2 Carnotaurus, cutting the yellow one with fast horns, forcing him to find food. Instead, he found himself face to face with this Carnotaurus again. But to my surprise, the herbivore catches the black Carno's escape with a horned attack, and really baffled him. What are you doing? It was later when I found him dead from the wounds sustained by the sharp attack to his head. But with the Stegoceratops tired and 1 Carno left, it was almost certain that the carnivores will wipe out the remaining almost crippled herbivores until Truffle, covered in serious injuries, finally woke up to finish the job. I can't believe he made it out alive and survived alongside the last Stegoceratops. The winner of round 2 has been chosen, and they now can rest before being transported to the final arena. And we have one big arena left before that ultimate showdown to find more contestants, with an amazingly unique way of battle. But before that, I want to tell you about one last Herbivore vs Carnivore round. You see, in that pretty short night, I held a secret arena somewhere else. A round that helped me pick out a roster of well-trained herbivores who have what it takes to survive. And that was exactly what I did, putting a plethora of different and unique herbivore dinosaur species into this one cramped coliseum. From the likes of Cheeto the Stegosaurus, many large ornithischians, and many more. How exactly? Well, from the darkness, our challenger for this round is entering, with an eerie gleam of bioluminescence hiding its blood-hungry teeth and twitching talons. An Indominus Rex, which I have its aggression and hunger all maxed out. I know that doesn't seem like a pretty good formula, but as the gates open, our herbivores have only one goal: to survive the night and until sunrise. And the deadly Indominus did not want to waste any time, charging out straight away to kill the easiest catch, quenching his never-satisfying hunger. Clearly, the herbivores panic and break out into a panic frenzy. Many back into the starting zone to hide, hoping to stay unnoticed, while many literally just go to sleep, hoping they don't get picked. For our Indominus, it's obvious he's just having fun, with the little guys first, shredding a Gallimimus who are supposed to be the runners. Simply running is not going to cut it, and the Indo goes inside to kick off the hiders too. Oh wait, he's taking a nice cool drink. Everything is going to be fine. Oh my god. He was ruthless and hunting without many breaks, using its menacing roars to herd herbivores into vulnerable positions. Some clever, like the Styracosaurus, stays in and around the water to hopefully evade the big bad guy. And what the? This little guy is straight up challenging the Indominus Rex. Yeah, that's not a surprise, buddy. Anyways, it went with murder after murder after murder, even stealthing inside the green flare smoke to hide from unsuspecting herbivores to get them. The other herbivores will need to think of something quick. This is Henry, a sly, clever Stygimoloch with a plan, being at opposite sides of the Indominus Rex at all times, going inside the starting zone when he's the furthest away, keeping low by the larger herbivores too, and staying in water when he needs. Henry is a clear example of what to do in this. Oh my god, Henry, my goodness. Oh well, that was short-lived, huh? On the brighter side, some of the sleeping strat seems to be working, causing the giant Rex to hunt in the back, killing the big ones that can't seem to hide. Plenty of them actually. Shortly resting the clean blood-drizzled claws, he was back in action, now going for sleeping ones too. If you were in front of it, your life was as good as gone. Unlike these little cult of cheesy little guys surviving hiding in the shadows, worshipping their lost prophet that was the bravest of them all. But the Indominus grew restless, knowing that sunrise is just around the corner to take his powers away. So clearly angry, it sprung into a full-on chase to get anyone it can. And above them, a warm ray of sunlight just about peeks over the mountainscape. But oh no, the Indominus Rex rushes for a crowd, but he stops. As the color in his skin flickers and slowly disappears, he takes one last victim. So close. The sun is now fully out and his powers are gone. The last Herbivore vs Carnivore round comes to an end, and the door closes on our lethal challenger, shining warm victorious light on our winners here today. Like the Stegosaurus bunch with Cheeto, Cheesy Pot Friends, and a few more. Whether it is by cleverly evading or simply luck, these guys deserve it. And with a reminder of bodies of their friends that lost their lives that night, they're going to join the final arena with a fighting spirit. And hold your horses, guys, trust me, it's coming super quick. But we have one last arena that has just been prepared, and this is our biggest one today. Gather around to the Rumble Arena, a symphony of various different arena blocks that will hold different sets of powerful dinosaur fighters and their environments. The arena is very simple. Over time, one by one, each arena section will combine and open up to each other at a time, battling the dinosaurs on the two sides for a period of time until gradually and slowly opening other gates until every single one is combined. This will force unique groups to match up against one another and test how selectively clever our fighters here will be in fighting the arena sections beside them. Oh, and to win and move on into the final arena is a winning condition that is yet to be revealed. So stick around. Without further ado, let me introduce you to each block and their fighters. The forested, mushroom-floored plains holds a pod of tough ankylosauruses, looking to club any intruders in the face. On the other side of a more basic block, they hold vicious ferocious raptors like the hybrid Spinoraptors and the Australovenators, or known as Earl Killers to my loyal viewers. Beside them, a section that holds herbivores that can pack a punch, including the Pachycephalosaurus and the mean-clawed Dinosaurs. Further upside, a few Pentaceratops are grazing the base of a hill where two Allosauruses skulk around, ready for a battle. I won't lie, I forgot to name them, so I'll call them A and B for now. But behind their walls, an empty field of sleepy Majungasauruses holds a returning champion, Garby, one of our maze champions, now with a set of new crewmates for his garbage crew, also housed with a few iguanodons. To you guys who love big dinosaurs, enter the desert section, a jagged ridge of sands and cactuses ruled by Craggle, another yet spiky Giganotosaurus and his Metriocanthosaurus goons. They are excited to invade and take everyone's space. But maybe think twice if you want to enter the winter section, where only the thick blubber of a gray Acrocanthosaurus buffer can withstand, alongside several winter-coated Utahraptors that scavenge the grounds. This big boy won't be so easy to take down. Anyways, with our final fighters coming in over at the edge, with swarms of Atrociraptors and a pack of mean Utahraptors, the Rumble Arena is about to start, as it randomly picks out which first sections will open up to each other. In the first round, 3 gates will open, one of which is the Raptors Arena block mixed with the Dinosaurs and the Pachycephalosaurus, as the Spinoraptors notices the open gate and sprung into action. It was clear the herbivores were nervous and scrambled to find their footing for now, while the second is similar, with the desert gates opening to go against the Ankylosaurus. The group of tanky ankylos stay close and braces for Craggle, who has been dying to see new environments. He sniffed them out and looks like wanting to calculate the situation first. As for the winter, they'll come face to face with the Atrociraptors and the Utahraptors. These ones seem to be more cautious with their sudden new competitors. And so, the Rumble Arena officially begins. Actually, from the start, most of our dinosaurs are mostly just starting fights with their roommates, with Atrociraptor starting to latch on nearby Utahraptors, slowly taking chunks out of it until it falls to the ground from its wounds. Some Utahraptors met the fate of a giant buffer, taking its life too, and so the Utahraptor fled into the warmer arena beside it, fighting the Utahraptors too, putting up a good fight but not quite able to take them down. It looks like the Utahraptors and the Atrociraptors had two common enemies, and surprisingly, over a nice meal together, it looks like maybe a truce was made. And evidently right after, with Buffer still killing Utahs, the Atrociraptors withheld their truce and attacked the giant Acrocanthosaurus over on the side, doing the same to their feathered enemies, forcing it to fall and flail in the ground until its eventual death from all the bites. The Utahraptors in the back helping push back their friends. Meanwhile, for Buffer, who shakes and roughens up the raptors, it was much harder to pierce through his thick skin, but enough to get Buffer to fall on his back. Yet, all bloody, he still got to escape. Then it was the Spinoraptors against the Australovenators, using jump attacks to overwhelm the opponent and killing them, taking the dominance over their side of the section first. Then that was when they go next door, hunting plenty of Pachycephalosaurus to fuel their hunger. It's a lot of food for them, just like Craggle, who drags an Ankylosaurus out and rips its neck. He'll be a problem to the others for sure. But remember, there are still zones that are not open to any other sections yet, like the hill slopes where the Allosaurus' pent-up anger is taken out on the poor Pentaceratops inside, wounding them badly and killing one in cold blood. Another one is Garby's zone, with a view of massively beat-up iguanodons. In this closed-off section, Garby had commanded him and his crew to start attacking the iguanodons. Damn, Garby, you are real strong, huh? And of course, his crew holds their ground well. As their crew name suggests, they clean up after themselves pretty well too. Anyways, the Ankylosaurus is holding their defensive formations, only losing another one from their group. And Craggle made sure to give his goons a clear lesson to do more, wounding many of them. With the fights on full blast now, Dinosaurs is taking revenge on the Spinoraptor that killed its friend, but not really able to do anything. It's time to open another part of the Rumble, unlocking the maze that is now open, connecting the Allosaurus' hill slopes to the Utahraptors and Atrociraptors, and ultimately the winter area too. Yet, over a very confusing maze they'll have to figure out, if not too busy killing their housemates too. Okay bro, relax. Though with the rivalry around these parts of the arena dying down, I figured I would open the gates of the garbage crew to both sides, now combining the whole of the bottom side of the arena already, and the lousy Majungasauruses who had wiped out all the iguanodons are released. This is going to get exciting. Quickly from far away, a Utahraptor comes over, challenging the new fighters. Unfortunately for him, the garbage crew had honed their skills pretty well, but a slap to reality comes in a few large claw strikes from a white Dinosaurus, eliminating a garbage crew in a clean swoop. this won't be as easy as they thought. In other news, someone had just figured out the maze and made it to the top, and he was hungry. I mean, obviously. Look at him. Intimidating A, the red aloe. He goes for a big bite, going back and forth with the vicious hill slope carnivore, pushing Buffer back to where he'd come from. But because of that, both allosaurs followed along and discovered the maze. Their journey now makes it downwards, as B, the green one, is excited to eat the meat in the winter zone. Looking further back, our duck friends seem to be having great casualties, the remainder fighting any garbage crew it can find, and Spinoraptors doing the same to try and claim this spot. But they still hold themselves down super well, opportunists that are not scared to eat anything including dead friends, and frantic herbivores that are just passing by. So to spice things up, guess what? More gates. It's about time, so I opened the gates of the deserts into the hill slope. Craggle, who is restless and mad, had turned his goons against him. In the midst of it all, an ambitious red Allosaurus goes for Buffer, but was caught in his head with a massive crunch. Dying and trying to reach, Buffer finished him off by its neck. The tumbles of death waving through the arena as fighters drop like flies, and I opened more gates. The middle gates opening, combining the Ankylosaurus forest into Garby's territory. Not just that, but the hills right into the winter zone too, meaning that every single arena section is now combined, and the Ankylos know that, scrambling as the garbage crew goes in to investigate. Below, something big is happening. Craggle had came across Buffer, and the Titan goes off immediately with Buffer attacking first. They clash with force so strong the ground shakes, and wounding both fighters with sheer power. Really hurt, Buffer got Craggle away from the fight, as he falls to immediately rest, and Craggle all bloodied from battle. On the low, there's a new rivalry between the garbage crew and the Spinoraptors, who both look to dominate certain spots. Who will go out victorious by the end of it all? We shall see. And speaking of, I still haven't told you guys how to win. Let's show you that right now. This creepily empty, mysterious stone area is yet to be opened to the arena, and will be the key to move on to the final arena, and that key is just about to be released. Introducing the winning condition, a hybrid Indotaurus, a blend of Indominus Rex and Carnotaurus. This monster, as vicious as it seems, is bred for defensiveness and evading rather than power, making it harder to kill rather than fighting it. Once this dies, the game will end, and all dinosaurs that is left will be transported to the final arena. With that said, the Indotaurus gates are opened, and he creeps out to disappear into the arena. Definitely he'll easily blend in, when the booms of our giants are still battling it out. Craggle bites the acro hard, and he bites back with the best he can. It was until they run away and come back to fight again is when they look to clash with all they got. So, who do you think will win here? Wow, good choice. Well, while I have you, I would love to ask you to subscribe. These videos take a while to make, and subscribing makes me know you're enjoying it and encourages me to make more. So click it. Okay, thank you so much. Well, as they lunge towards each other, Buffer catches Craggle's head, and with immense crushing force, he clenches his jaw, then onto his neck, killing Craggle and eliminating him from the arena. Just like that, our cruelest tyrant is gone. Let's look back to the hybrid. He's been playing around, taking herbivores out of the game and playing with Ankylosauruses, but this one he whipped took offense, clubbing the hybrid with a giant impact. He might actually win this for us, but not confident, he runs away. You see, defense is not only what I invested in, but fear factor, showing it the same to the garbage crew who just can't get to him, even dying from the damage inflicted by the spine-scattered tail, and other herbivores picking up the challenge to kill the Indotaurus. Putting up a good fight but beat down and bloodied till death, it became just food. Meanwhile, the others are doing their own bidding, like the green Allosaurus eliminating anyone he can. It was when Buffer smelt the Indotaurus creeping up behind him. The oblivious hybrid overlooked the green Allosaurus that took him by the neck, and finally killing the Indotaurus, taking down the challenger and forcing this arena to finally end. Congratulations to finishing the Rumble Arena. Surprisingly, there are very few winners left here. The Spinoraptor stood victorious, successfully wiping out the garbage crew in the end, alongside of course Buffer, the giant grey Acrocanthosaurus, and B, the green Allosaurus, who finished it all, killing the Indotaurus. At last, we have the pack of Ankylosaurus left, surviving it all through teamwork and sticking together. The winners of the Rumble had been chosen, and there was only one last thing to do, to discover which of all our winners today up until now will win in an all-out fight for only one survivor in the final arena. Grab your popcorn, peoples, it's time for the final arena. and our coliseum ready is a large vast expanse with nothing fancier than some sand and rocks under the sharp touch of sunlight. Why? Well, this last arena has only one goal. No gimmicks, but just to let our dinosaurs fight until only one last survivor is left, crowning them the true champion and the strongest dinosaur. All our winners today are gathered behind these gates waiting to come out and take that crown. But before that, let me show you around, because this final arena will not come empty-handed. On one side is a little forested area, packed with plenty of dense bushes and canopies to hide. Many can use this area to lay low or keep out of trouble. Well, maybe not for long, as near the entrance are where the two of the only water sources are, and will force even the smallest herbivores to come and drink. And this won't be a Keenling video without a trap that I place in one unsuspecting corner. I call it the ant trap, where a buffet of delicious fresh meat lays so nicely for them. Little does unaware hungry dinosaurs coming in know is a timer will start until the doors behind them close, and inside a smaller few gates will open after, opening them to a swarm of the ants that are just starving velociraptors, too many to count. They can leave after a certain period of time, well, if they survive. To top it all off, our challenger of this arena is coming in. An Ultimasaurus, the head of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, the frills of a Triceratops, and I'm totally reading this off the wiki page. But this hybrid is nothing but an ultimate weapon tasked to mess with our fighters today. Will anyone be able to beat this beast of a dinosaur hybrid? Let's find out, as the final arena is about to commence. On one side of the arena, doors are opening, and coming out we can see a few familiar faces, like Truffle and his buddy Stegoceratops, now all healed, even the Triceratops that bonded with the T-Rex in the first round. We got the king of the hill fellas too, like Gore sniffing around, and Stork straight to the water like moth to a flame. The other side is opening too, with many of our raptors and the so heavy steps of a giant theropod, the red Tyrannosaurus Rex, quite excited to meet his match. And of course, more recently, Big Boy Buffer and the other winners from the Rumble. We have one more left unopened, and that's a surprise for later on. For now, the battle for being the last survivor starts now. Arco is back and completely scared, and for good reason, with fights starting almost immediately. The first ones are quick, with the green aloe, who I really should name, fighting the annoying Spinoraptors away. Buffer takes the bigger offense and absolutely killing some of them too. Gore, on the other hand, had its eyes on bigger competition, trying to intimidate but ultimately running away. Ultimately, get it? Cause, okay, never mind. Anyways, don't mind my Ultima's weird animation errors, let's just say he has black magic. Speaking of, he had been hunting many herbivores with this so-called magic, even an Ankylosaurus. Meanwhile, in the forest, a different battle starts, with Arco warding off the T-Rex trying to take the bushes for himself, but eventually has to run away. But deeper inside, we got Truffle, fittingly hiding amongst the shrubbery with some Ankylosauruses as well. For Truffle, using the thickets to his advantage is pretty easy to pick off challengers. Gore can be seen enjoying the sun and sand, but he's actually using them to cover scars. And oh my god, not these little guys trying to go against the giants. Yup, sorry buddy, you'll get him next time. Rightfully so, the middle is dominated by the giants of our arena so far. Stork even cleared out all the Pyroraptors behind him, but for his frantic brother, he is about to make one big mistake, entering the ant trap, and turns out there was a Styracosaurus and Stegosaurus there already. Something was off, but it was too late to react as the gates closed behind them. They knew they were in trouble when the Velociraptor gates opened, and the ears of the raptors perked up, and without hesitation, they sprung out. Quickly, the raptors overwhelmed the Stegosaurus, and slowly taking it down. They stood no chance, and it was only moments after that the Ceratops and Arco lay dead with too many wounds to count. Another Suchomimus brother is gone, but their lineage threat is not over. While that was happening, the green aloe caused them trouble, even managed to hurt Buffer as a strategy to slowly chip away damage at him, opposite the Stork who got a big bite to the thigh challenging the big boy. As he runs, Gore did the same but landing a more devastating bite. He was clearly shaken and had to run. We got Truffle still chilling, and the Ultimasaurus easily taking down big herbivores and chomping down on them on the side. But remember Stork who was running away? Unluckily for him, he did so into the ant trap. Oh no. Yet just before the door closes, he smelled a scent of his dead brother and left at the last second, who followed him after shocked me, as the T-Rex steps into the trap with two more fighters, Buffer and B the green Allosaurus, still without a name. How about you guys name him in the comments? They indulge messily into the meat slop on the ground, and behind them the gate closes. If they actually kill these three strong fighters, the contestants outside will have a much better chance at winning. And so with the interior gates opening and the swarm of raptors getting rowdy with excitement, they went to Buffer first, and the Acrocanthosaurus shrugged them off, but more raptors lingered, and they are ready. Will they be able to survive the raptor ambush? Well, time has gone by, so let's take a look inside. Dead velociraptors lay everywhere, and we even got one thrown out the arena. It looks like our fighters absolutely overpowered the swarm of raptors, and I'm not surprised having 3 of maybe our strongest fighters inside. So the raptor gates close, and unfortunately for everyone outside, they are released back into the arena. Outside target has been swayed to the ankylosauruses, with Stork discovering their neck as their weakness. Our Tarbosaurus following along but with shell breaking force. For Truffle though, his eyes lock into the Ultimasaurus, scratching the hybrid with piercing claws, but the Ultima bites back at Truffle's neck. Cleverly, our Therizinosaurus strikes again on his foe's existing wounds, deepening it, yet still overpowered and have to flee. But he's not one to give up. Circling back, he goes face to face with the Ultimasaurus again. Both their eyes scream a murderous intent, and one is not coming out of this. Truffle slashes again, disorienting the big carnivore, and in that tiny window, another big claw strike into the unhealable wounds. But Truffle runs away. It was later that the wounds were too much for the hybrid and he drops to the ground. Truffle has successfully eliminated the challenger. The cheesy guys actually come out to celebrate. And what better cause for celebrations than to open our last secret gate, the Dryosaurus gift, my present for them. A door of Dryosauruses because I feel like I've been really mean to them. So to the arena are as many little herbivores any dinosaur would want for a snack. Gore was the first to sniff out the new running nuggets and grab some for himself. Delicious. Buffer on the other hand wanted something bigger, but when the Triceratops hit him hard enough, he eventually goes for the new snacks too. A couple actually, because he's quite the chunky fella. Anytime he got attacked and pretty injured, he always resorted to these little guys as a meal. Alright, you might want to lay down on the Dryosauruses, buddy. In this moment of calm, Gore had enough. He wanted to win, and the T-Rex was on his way, going for a bite. Beside them, Stork had grown vicious, and stalks the weakened Buffer from afar, and with the injuries he knew it was time to strike. He did it, taking down the tankiest dinosaur in this battle, and Stork screeches to get respect from the others. His victorious meals marks a change in tension, and Gore picked up on this, biting the T-Rex again. But before he could return the favor, he falls to the ground. Turns out starving this whole time, it had no energy to fight back. And now 2 of our very big fighters are dead, and we got a few under the radar coming out like Cheeto and the Stegoceratops hiding in the shade. But Stork's rise in fame was short-lived, with Truffle slashing the poor Strutomimus on many parts of his body, before a deep stab into his jugular. Stork did good, taking down a lot of crucial and strong fighters in this game, but now he has come to rest to finally meet his brothers. And with the rest injuring each other with very persistent fights for dominance, they all hunted and eat their final meals as preparation for the final battle. They are all put into one square to finally finish off the battle. Cheeto and the Stegoceratops bumping each other, noticing their similar genes, thinking if they can work together. Truffle, Gore, but quickly Strong notices Strong as Truffle goes for the green Allosaurus. As they trade very hard attacks against each other, the Allosaurus retreats. For others like the Stegoceratops, they stood very still. Turns out I did not know, but actually dead from exhaustion. And Gore clearing the playing fields by killing the Stegosaurus right after. To them, this will be energy to eat up. What Gore didn't expect was while attacking the Sinoceratops, he gets a horn tackle to his jaw, and this herbivore kept a good job defending himself. His injuries might be bad for him, but the Allosaurus cocky, he tried the same thing and got the exact same horn to his tummy. The guy counters and actually escapes again. But for the Triceratops, Gore is able to finish off pretty easily, personally wiping clean the winners for the first Herbivore vs Carnivore round. Clearly excited for the trophy, he's been eliminating a lot in the final battle. And then there was 4, with one super nimble Spinoceratops that are dodging all the attacks going his way. But unfortunately for Gore, the Allosaurus had more luck on the big Tarbosaurus, who had been collecting too many wounds from too many fights, and had succumbed to the force of an agile Allosaurus. The strongest fighter with the most kills is dead, Gore. Same goes for the Spinoceratops falling to the ground with his non-recovering scars. So much for nimble. Then it was the finals, the Therizinosaurus against the green Allosaurus, who both had their very hard journeys up here. Truffle from handling his group against 5 crazed Carnotaurus, fending off anyone who challenged him, and even took down the strong Ultimasaurus. Or B, the unnamed green Allosaurus, starting his journey with his brother who lost his life to the giant Acrocanthosaurus, but fought relentlessly regardless in the Rumble arena, and actually killed the Indotaurus winning condition, all into being side by side with the deadliest competitors over this final arena. It all comes to this. As Truffle scratch him, the Allosaurus wanted this too bad and charges for an attack. But that was it. his life taken with sheer force of Truffle's claws piercing through his neck. Just like that, the winner of the arena and the whole challenge is Truffle, claiming the title of the strongest dinosaur in this arena battle. A great example of leadership and calculated attacks brought him all up to the top. What do you guys think? Is there anyone else who deserves to be in this spot? Let me know. But for now, the final arena is silent as the fighting comes to an end. Huge thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring this video, and don't forget to play it for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or mobile right now by using my links in the pinned comments or video description. Remember, new and returning players that haven't played the game on PC and consoles get a massive free bonus pack with multiple premium vehicles, 7 days of premium account time, 100,000 silver lions, the unique Eagle of Valor decoration, and much more. And it's for a limited time only. Same goes for the chance to win that carnivore in my next Jurassic World Evolution video. Thank you so much for watching.